The following is a presentation of TFNN. Time to talk about your health. Living a primal lifestyle.
You know, we have Tom from Tampa on the phone. Hey, Tom. Good morning. It's bright and early now, huh?
Hey, Paige. Good.
Hi, Tom.
How you guys doing, Nico?
Doing great.
Good. Hey, your newsletter's outstanding, man. I'm telling you, man, it is outstanding. And so is the Primal Edge. I love that stuff. I'd never be without it. I mean, I've been on it now 3-4 months, man. I mean, it's just, I can't get over how good I feel.
Primal Edge is, people are raving about it. People who are trying it, they know because you can feel it.
Would not be without it.
Call now, toll free at 1-877-927-6648. Internationally at 727-445-1044. Now your hosts, Nico de Haan and Paige Clarke.
Good morning. I'm Nico de Haan. Welcome to Living a Primal Lifestyle, where we explore a return to a more balanced, natural, wild world to recover our natural health and regain our rights and freedoms. And it's a beautiful morning in downtown St. Petersburg. It's 77 degrees, clear skies. Seems like that's been the temperature every morning here for the past 3 months. And that's just the way it is here in Florida. It's beautiful. We're expecting a cold front to come down here soon, but usually that happens about mid-November, so got a little time to wait. Folks, please pick up our Primal Edge, our one-shot wonder, over 310 organic cell-ready ingredients, all made to keep you healthy. They're liquid ingredients, very easy to take. They're all powered by fulvic and humic acid, which are nature's molecules that tell the cells to open up and let the good stuff in and take the bad stuff out of there, which is exactly what we want. Also, brand new Health Signals newsletter, number 19 for the year. And it starts off with some interesting articles about walking might be the best exercise there is. And naturally, that's the way kind of we grew up through the system of just walking everywhere until the last 100 years or so, where we started doing other things and flying around using bicycles and things like that. So today I want to just talk, Paige isn't here. You can probably tell that she's off today and she's having her adjustment. And every couple of weeks she'll be going and having a little adjustment in her teeth so she can get the proper alignment for her teeth to keep her healthy. And we certainly encourage that. So I want to talk a little bit about the fear of a simple fever. And it's often fever indicates a reaction, especially in your child. So it'll get this reaction in your immune system when it's fighting an infection. Is a fever always a cause for concern, or is it better to kind of let nature take its course? If your child has a low fever, do you race to the medicine cabinet and reach for Tylenol or some fever medicine to lower your child's body temperature as soon as possible? Do you call a pediatrician right away? While there's no doubt that a natural reaction from parents concerned about their child's illness is, that's pretty, I had children and I had the same reaction. So, but is it always the case? Are we so used to medicine now that we, at every single inclination or every little sign, we run to the medicine cabinet and get something to kind of help us along this path? Or is it better the other way around? That's kind of the question I have right here. Is your child's fever always a cause of concern, and a rush to lower it, is that the best option? Many times a simple fever is an indication that your child's immune system is fighting a viral or bacterial infection. It's a sign that the body's defense system is working its way in the way it's intended to work. Fever is greatly misunderstood and perceived as a symptom to always be feared rather than an ally in indicating that our bodies have mounted an inflammatory response to fight an infection. So fever really is part of a normal, effective immune response, and research suggests that the immune function actually may be enhanced by fever. Fever is a homeostatic process that occurs when the body's set point is raised above the body's normal temperature range. And normal body temperature tends to fluctuate on a daily basis from about 1 degree to another, so anywhere from 98.6 a degree below to a degree above for adults. Depending on the place in your body which the measurement is made, body temperature can also vary slightly. While it's believed that the rectal or the internal temperature tends to be higher than the skin, which is the surface temperature, than the oral or the armpit temperatures, which really indicate, they say, the actual temperature of the body. A fluctuation range of temperatures can be found in most healthy people. Now, fever can be triggered by several conditions. However, infections usually lead to fever in children. Fever signals an immune system response to gain advantage over microbes that have become more of a problem, and preparing your body to create an unfavorable environment against the replicating viruses and the bacteria that are temperature sensitive. So really, as the temperature rises, it's just a response to your body of this bacteria, and shows that your body is ready to take action. And this is how it works. Body temperature is regulated by the part of the brain known as the hypothalamus. The body's temperature, the biological, actually the hypothalamus is kind of like the thermostat for the body, if you kind of can relate that to the car. Biochemical substances called pyrogens activate the hypothalamus, and they travel from the area of the body that are identified by the immune system as a threat by the hippocampus. By way of the bloodstream. Therefore, this signals and alerts the body to generate and retain heat, which produces a fever. Consequently, the body responds by circulating blood vessels, and by constricting blood vessels, I should say, increasing muscle tension and releasing hormones that prevent the release of heat. It is this rising internal temperature that causes a person to have a fever, to shiver, while your body temperature levels off, during which the person experiences uncomfortable heat. When a fever subsides, the body's internal temperature starts to decline, forcing the body to cool off faster, which results in sweating and indicates that the fever is breaking and is almost over. Now, according to the U.S. Library of Medicine, a child has a fever when the temperature is at or above one of these levels: 100.4 degrees Fahrenheit, 38 C, measured in the bottom, rectally; 98.5 Fahrenheit, or 37.5 C, measured in the mouth, orally; or 99 Fahrenheit, 37.2 C, measured under the arm, axillary. So as a adult has a fever when the body temperature is above 99 or 99.5. That's 37.2 or 37.5, depending on the time of the day. Now, fever is part of the body's natural healing response, and there's a growing recognition among more doctors that it makes sense to let a simple fever run its course if the child is not severely distressed. In most cases, fever-reducing drugs will only suppress the natural healing mechanisms of the fever and prolong the illness. An article originally published in the Mothering magazine states that it makes sense to us that if a fever helps defend against infection, giving fever-reducing medicines may make things worse. In addition, some fever medications have undesirable side effects. Fever medications may actually prolong the illness. This opinion of some practitioners is backed by a few studies. Assuming the response of the body to illness, fever, inflammation, and sleepiness is adaptive, it seems reasonable to assume that interfering with this process may do more harm than good. Folks, please take time to pick up the Health Signals newsletter right now. Only $10 a month gives you 2 issues a month, getting to your door on the first and third Tuesday of every month. And while we're on this break here, why don't you pick up some Primal Edge while we're at it, and we will be right back.
You know what's cool? Taking something that's good for you. Something specifically formulated to help with weight loss, better sleep, stress reduction, and the need to detox.
Nico, our hunter and gatherer ancestors found all their nutritional requirements for health in their wild environment. But today, our food sources no longer contain the vitamins, minerals, and nutrients our bodies need to stay healthy and strong.
That's why we need Primal Edge Daily Nutrition. It includes a special blend of ionic, soil-based vitamins, minerals, fatty, and amino acids in an easy-to-use liquid form.
Primal Edge is powered by highly concentrated fulvic and humic acids, nature's preferred delivery system. They have been called miracle molecules because, like sunlight, air, and water, life cannot exist without them.
That's right, Paige. They ensure we receive all the nutrition we need to be healthy and thrive. We take it every morning.
Primal Edge, formulated and approved by Nico and Paige of Living a Primal Lifestyle. Buy it today for just $89. Click on the Primal Edge banner on the front page of TFNN.com.
TFNN is excited about our new software charting program, The Art of Timing the Trade Charts. In collaboration with Tom O'Brien and using his best-selling book, The Art of Timing the Trade, Your Ultimate Trading Mastery System, David White has programmed an outstanding piece of software that will complement any trader's methodology. Using this first-of-its-kind program, The Art of Timing the Trade Charts allows you to scan thousands of stocks for Fibonacci formation setups, including Gartley's, ABC's, butterflies, and much more. The Art of Timing the Trade Charts is designed to help you when scouring the markets for stocks just beginning to form the trading patterns that many investors spend days, weeks, or even months searching to find. And right now, we're offering licenses available at only $79 a month. We are so confident that you're going to love this new charting software that will even give you a 30-day unconditional money-back guarantee. Don't miss out on this incredible new piece of software. Get your copy of The Art of Timing the Trade Charts today by visiting TFNN.com. Will the S&P 500 continue to climb? For bold trades on U.S. large-cap stocks in either direction, trade SPXL, SPUU, or SPXS. Directions Daily S&P 500 Bull and Bear Leveraged ETFs. Direction Leveraged ETFs. An investor should carefully consider a fund's investment objective, risks, charges, and expenses before investing. A fund's prospectus and summary prospectus contain this and other information about Direction shares. To obtain a fund's prospectus and summary prospectus, call 866-476-7523 or visit directioninvestments.com. A fund's prospectus and summary prospectus should be read carefully before investing. An investment in the funds is subject to risk, including the possible loss of principal. The funds are designed to be utilized only by sophisticated investors such as traders and active investors. Distributor Foreside Fund Services, LLC.
Call now, toll free at 1-877-927-6648. Internationally at 727-873-7618.
And welcome back, folks. Number here is 877-927-6648 if you'd like to join the program. Talking about body heat and, you know, how when children get a fever, it usually is a real cause for concern among the parents. And certainly I went through that when I was a young man. In fact, we were coming back from Canada on this trip, my wife and the 3 kids in the back seat, and my son had a high fever, and we were racing from Canada across the border, and we got a hold of a doctor. It was like a Sunday evening, something like that. We met the doctor about an hour later. He rushed in there, and he said it was definitely a high fever, and it actually had damaged my son's eardrum. And that's how serious this thing can get. And we were kind of on the road, and we didn't really know what his temperature was, but boy, he sure felt hot, and that's, you know, we were thinking of either going to the emergency room, but we had a really good child doctor, and we called him, and boy, he responded really quickly. He was very concerned about it, and that's kind of what happened with my son. So you really have to have a indication of, you know, what is going on, and thermostat or a temperature guide is really something good. Maybe that should be carried with you. And nowadays, I do carry all kinds of different medical things in this little emergency kit. And I take it everywhere I go. So, hot bodies seem to be better at fighting disease. Excuse me. A 2018 study examining the role of temperature plays in your body's inflammation response has demonstrated that the hotter our body temperature, the most effective our immune system becomes at fighting tumors, healing wounds, and fighting infections. Researchers at the University of Warwick and Manchester in the UK recently published a paper entitled Temperature Regulates NF-kB Dynamics and Function Through the Timing of the A20 Transcription in the Proceedings of the National Academy of Sciences in the USA. The acknowledgement that inflammation is often accompanied by changes in the body temperatures, researchers sought to close the gap of information of how this phenomena may be linked, and use an experimentation method incorporating mathematics modeling Researchers from the University of Mathematics Institute partnered with the biologist, infectious disease specialist, and other scientists to better understand these interaction systems. These models were used to calculate cellular responses to inflammation, such as how small increases in body temperatures affect specific genes, including key inflammatory regulators. Now, biologists focused on the actions of a protein called nuclear factor kappa B. That's the NFKB. When inflammation markers are used in the bloodstream, these proteins switch on by moving into and out of the nucleus of cells, turning genes on and off response to the inflammation. This cellular signaling works on a biological clock, with cells activating for a period of time to respond to a perceived source of inflammation. A healthy NFKB response allows the body to effectively suppress tumors and infection and aids in rapid wound healing. An uncontrolled NFKB response is associated with inflammatory diseases such as psoriasis, rheumatoid arthritis, and Crohn's disease. So mathematical models were used to test the correlation of the rate of this internal clock to changes in the body temperature. Researchers discovered that if the body temperature is lower than normal, around 94 Fahrenheit, the NFKB clock slows down. This has the effect of slowing the body's response rate to wounds and infections. When the body temperature is higher than normal, 96.6 or greater than, as in the case of a fever, the NFKB clock speeds up and continues to increase with each degrees of uptick in the body temperature. Now, this increased psychological response to inflammation is associated with rapid wound healing, fewer and shorter infections, and even anti-cancer benefits. Now, researchers correctly predicted that the protein called A20 holds a critical role in the product, and when A20, the central gatekeeper in inflammation and immunity, was removed from cells during explantation, the NFKB clock loses its correlation link with the body temperature. This link helps explain why the body cycles through normal changes in body, going up maybe 1.5 degrees Fahrenheit during the course of a 24-hour day. The lower body temperature during sleep might provide a fascinating explanation in how the shift works. Jet lag or sleep disorders can increase the inflammatory response. Mechanically and functionally regulation by temperature clears the way for new drugs and that control inflammation by precise targeting the A20. Of course, this always has something to do with drugs, it seems like. So that's the way a lot of these studies gets done. There has to be a reason for the study, not just that the temperature goes up and down. A professor who's a lead biologist from the University of Manchester noted that these findings validate our understanding of why influenza and cold epidemics tend to get worse in winter when the temperatures are cooler. Mice living at higher temperatures suffer less from inflammation and cancer. These changes may now explain why altering immune responses at different temperatures, and this is, different diseases probably respond differently to the immune system, may even respond differently to different temperatures. Fever is a normal part of the body's health immune response that is often met by overreaction. We discussed that with the children. Fever is produced when we come into contact with toxins. And this brings something to mind. As we're younger and we have our first child, we have less knowledge about this whole thing. And this is why it's so important that human beings are really in more of a tribal type situation, old tribal. I'm not talking about the new term tribal being used. I'm talking about in our natural social groups, just as dogs have a pack and geese have a flock, human beings have a tribe. And naturally, if we didn't have our government and we lived out in the wild, we'd form small tribes. Our natural tribes bring the education and experience, because our tribe is filled for everybody from just born all the way to just about dying. So there's a lot of things that have happened in this tribe, whereas we're a couple in a new house with a new child, our experiences really is our family unit is not right there. All we have is the internet. And then we really have to search because we know the internet provides both negative and positive results. You can find an answer to just about anything and every which way we want on the internet. Valuable tool, but you have to muddle through it. It's like going into a library and maybe not knowing where to look and what to look for things. Medication designed to suppress the therapeutic fever can do more harm than good, according to Harvard Medical School. An adult has a fever when his or her temperature exceeds 100.4. A fever is not considered medically urgent until it exceeds 105 in adults, at which you should take measures to cool the body and seek medical attention, of course. So maybe we're looking at this the wrong way. Maybe we're looking at things completely differently. And if we have our body temperature being slightly higher than normal, maybe this is a sign that we're operating at peak performance. So, there's a lot to learn here, and I invite you to use our Health Signals newsletter. I have a brand new one out today. And of course, all these articles that I discuss are always coming up into the new Health Signals newsletter. That's why if you want to do your own research about what we talk about here, really important to pick it up. It's $10 a month, $5 each issue. It's a bargain, folks. Pick it up on the Health Signals newsletter site there. And also pick up the Primal Edge. We're on a break now, so I'll be right back.
We'd like to tell you about the personal training studio that Nico is the owner and president of, Performance Training. Since 1998, Nico has trained individuals and groups to improve their health both mentally and physically. As a certified personal trainer, Nico's main focus is on demonstrating exercises correctly to avoid injury and teaching his clients how to manage their past injuries while getting the most out of their personal training sessions. The Performance Training Studio is filled with unique training equipment that enhances balanced results at a faster rate while minimizing damage and discomfort. For more information, you can give Nico a call at 727-418-8740 or email him at nico@tfnn.com. Let him know you heard him on TFNN and save up to $100 on a special package just for TFNN listeners. Act today. Monday, September 24th, TFNN is launching a new updated version of our website. You can still visit us at the same TFNN.com URL, and starting Monday, you'll be able to experience the new and improved TFNN website. If you're a current subscriber, don't worry, your subscription will be automatically transferred. The new TFNN.com will allow much easier access to all your account and subscription information. Get ready for the new TFNN.com, educating investors. Has the current market volatility continued to stop you out of trades when the market spikes against you? Now is the perfect time to open up an account with Nadex. Nadex, the North American Derivatives Exchange, is a brand new, completely regulated Chicago-based exchange, and unlike most other exchanges, Nadex allows you to trade directly through them with direct market access when using their completely free trading platform, which also features real-time charts and full customization capability. One of the advantages of trading with Nadex in volatile markets is that your risk is always capped and you have the ability of keeping your trades open even when the market spikes against you. Nadex is completely brand new with a line of unique trading products that are unavailable anywhere else. See how it works at nadex.com. That's NADEX.com. Or click on the Nadex banner on the front page of TFNN.com. Futures and options trading involves risk and may not be appropriate for all investors.
Many of our new listeners have heard about The Tiger's Den. The Tiger's Den is a lively community where professional traders and investors can meet, exchange ideas and information in a comfortable, moderated atmosphere. Hear all of the TFNN shows, plus see all of the charts as they happen live and have access to archives of all of those charts. You can test drive The Tiger's Den absolutely free for 30 days and greatly enrich your knowledge of these markets and how to make your money work for you. Details on The Tiger's Den are on the front page of TFNN.com. This segment is brought to you by Think or Swim. For more information, just click the Think or Swim banner on the front page of TFNN.com.
And welcome back. Nico de Haan here on Living a Primal Lifestyle. Paige is out this week. She's up in Tennessee someplace getting her jaw adjusted and going through that whole thing. But she's educating us at the same time. So when she comes back, she's going to give us updates about how this is progressing with her mouth. And it's fascinating to me. Everybody have a dog? Well, I don't have a dog right now, but I've had dogs throughout my life. And there's a trend going around. It says if you're a vegan dog parent, you might wonder whether it's wise for you to put your dog on a vegan diet too, or maybe you've already made that switch. The rise in interest in vegan and vegetarian diets for humans in recent years has led scientists to study the effects of vegan diets on our beloved canines. Oh, they should be doing it on us. And while everybody wants the best for their furry babies, there are a few things you should know before putting your dog on a vegetarian diet, according to the new study. Now, this was published in the British Journal of Nutrition, and the study states that while modern domestic dogs are a subspecies of the gray wolf, they are biologically different in some ways. And the diet of the gray wolf can vary a lot according to the season, the habitat. And while eating meat is their mainstay of a wolf's diet, they also eat grasses and plant food like fruit as well. So what does this mean for your French poodle or your little dachshund or whatever you have? Well, like wolves, domestic dogs are adaptable and can thrive on various foods. And while vegan and vegetarian diets might be doable for some dogs, it says here, if you approach it very mindfully, they can also pose some potential problems, according to the study. Unfortunately, most home-cooked meals and even commercial vegan diets are not safe and healthy for dogs. You hear this, folks? Unfortunately, most home-cooked meals and even commercial vegan diets are not safe and healthy for dogs. Why would this be? This Dr. Fox, a staff doctor at New York City's Animal Medical Center, tells us by email that since dogs possess nutrients differently, process nutrients differently than people, they are at risk of not having a complete and balanced diet, which could lead to a very different kinds of medical conditions. Meat-free diets for dogs might work as long as their food is nutritionally balanced, like perfectly balanced. But the concern among experts is that with the potential gap being theory and implementation, meaning that executing the perfect doggy plant-based diet can be very tricky. Of course, we've seen dogs go out when they're not feeling well and eating some grass and maybe even some leaves of different types. But generally, you know, the dogs really, unless they're a puppy, when they're grown up, they really like hard food. They like the meat, they like bones, they like chewing on things, and they certainly have great canine teeth for ripping things apart. In the wild, you'll see dogs even take the stomach and kind of put it aside. You know, when they rip open the animal, they take the stomach and kind of put it aside just like lions do, because they don't eat that part, because that's the plant food inside the animals. While both dogs and wolves are omnivores, the extent to which they can thrive without meat in their diets is still somewhat unknown. According to a study, researchers say that wolves might be more along the lines of adaptive carnivores rather than true omnivores. Fluctuating food availability throughout the seasons might mean that wolves can deal with changes in food sources, but that doesn't mean a meat-free diet is ideal for them. And while dogs differ from wolves in some important ways, they're still closely related enough. Studying one species can shed some light on another. This new study suggests that dogs have evolved to live with humans and as a result may have adapted more omnivorish ways than the gray wolf ancestors. So while this may mean that your pup can eat more of a vegan or vegetarian diet, as long as it's perfectly executed. And this is kind of like the deal with humans too. We really have to be careful with the vegan diet because there are certain nutrients that are missing, so you have to supplement. And with dogs, this is the same thing. This really brings to mind, you know, when I was in biology and going to high school and college, we studied various animals and stuff like that. And the one thing that was mentioned is that wolves had a similar digestive system than humans, albeit much shorter. But we have the same hydrochloric acid in there. We have the same type of bacteria for plants that the wolf does in our bacteria. This is why a wolf can pretty much, and dogs too, can pretty much drink just about any kind of water and do pretty well, because they really have that high concentration of hydrochloric acid, much higher than we do. But we have a really good amount of it. And if we're healthy, we have a big squirt of that going in when our food arrives, which means that's the thing that disinfects everything. So our bodies, when I read things like this, that maybe we shouldn't be feeding dogs a vegan diet, I really translate this to humans too. So this is where I'm coming from. And there's been plenty of studies when dogs are taken from a regular dog food diet, maybe dry and wet dog food, and now changed to a what we call more of a natural diet, but they really are calling it a fresh meat diet. In other words, the meat hasn't been cooked. It's kind of like out in the wild how a dog would chase down something and eat that. And this way they're eating the whole animal, and they have also the bones in there too. And if you don't cook the animal, then the bones aren't brittle. So if you're cooking an animal, you cannot feed bones like that to a dog. You have to really feed a dog a bone that is raw. Then it doesn't splinter, and it's healthy for them. So this is a kind of cool way of looking at things. I had another article here that said the difference between the canine and human digestive systems. And generally, the softer the diet should be maintained until the puppy is about 8 weeks old. However, it's best to consult your veterinarian. A way to introduce solid food to the dog. Of course, the mother knows when to kind of kick the baby away. And what used to happen, of course, is that when the baby was weaned, is that the animal or the dog's mother would chew the food and regurgitate it back. This is the natural way that it would work. So maybe that's more, and I think the human beings did this too. I mean, we didn't have baby food. You know, so how was the human being? I mean, we either mashed it by utensils of some kind, or we used our own saliva. And if we want to pass the healthy genes and the healthy germs onto our kids, this is exactly what we do. Now, in days, we see that as the icky factor, of course. Is modern society, we're much more civilized than that. You know, those things always come into play. But believe me, this is how our ancestors fed our babies. We let them suckle on the breast as long as they wanted to, going years into it, and then we helped chew their food for them for a time until they could figure it out themselves. And I've read plenty of stories about people who are, you know, strictly meat, and they hand a bone to their child as soon as they can hold the bone in their hands and start chewing on it, and somehow our kids do seem to figure it out. So I don't think it's as complicated as we make it out to be. I think human beings have always figured this out, and if we took a step back and lived in the wild again, these things would probably come naturally to us. We wouldn't be looking for vegetables that much out in the wild, folks. We'd be hunting down the little animals. We'd be looking for worms and bugs and snakes and whatever else, the mushrooms and all that stuff, and maybe some plants if we're knowledgeable enough. Stick around, folks. I'll be right back. Got a lot more.
You know what's cool? Taking something that's good for you. Something specifically formulated to help with weight loss, better sleep, stress reduction, and the need to detox.
Nico, our hunter and gatherer ancestors found all their nutritional requirements for health in their wild environment. But today, our food sources no longer contain the vitamins, minerals, and nutrients our bodies need to stay healthy and strong.
That's why we need Primal Edge Daily Nutrition. It includes a special blend of ionics, oil-based vitamins, minerals, fatty, and amino acids in an easy-to-use liquid form.
Primal Edge is powered by highly concentrated fulvic and humic acids, nature's preferred delivery system. They have been called miracle molecules because, like sunlight, air, and water, life cannot exist without them.
That's right, Paige. They ensure we receive all the nutrition we need to be healthy and thrive. We take it every morning.
Primal Edge, formulated and approved by Nico and Paige of Living a Primal Lifestyle. Buy it today for just $89. Click on the Primal Edge banner on the front page of TFNN.com.
No matter what kind of trader you are, 2018 is a great time to try out a subscription to Tom O'Brien's Gold Report. Whether you just plan on diversifying your portfolio with some exposure to gold and gold mining equities, or you're a gold bull that sees 2018 as the year of commodities, now is a great time to sign up for the Gold Report. Tom O'Brien publishes his Gold Report every Monday morning before the market opens and covers a variety of topics including gold, silver, platinum, copper, the XAU and HUI, the dollar, bonds, South African rand, as well as more than 20 of the most actively traded mining equities. Start your 2018 off with a bang and sign up for the Gold Report today. The Gold Report is a long-term newsletter where the focus is on building real wealth through the management of a successful portfolio of gold stocks. For all the details and to start your subscription right now, visit the front page of TFNN.com and you'll find the Gold Report under Investment Newsletters. David White's newsletter, The Technology Insider, is focused like a laser on finding the next big things in technology. If you had invested only $10,000 in Microsoft in 1986, you'd have been a millionaire by 2000. Disruptive technology like Microsoft's is the key to these massive long-term profits, and the Tech Insider is the vehicle from TFNN to capitalize on these opportunities. This is the go-to newsletter that identifies, monitors, and profits on mostly little-known cutting-edge companies with great long-term prospects. David's experience is as an inventor of Emmy-winning animation products for TV and Hollywood that propelled a company public. Match that with 14 years as a full-time trader, and he's uniquely qualified to guide you through the light-speed world of ever-evolving high-tech. If you're ready to ride the next big technology bull market for less than $40 per month, log on to TFNN.com and get your 2-week free trial to the Technology Insider. Get in on the ground floor of the next big thing today.
Don't forget, you can listen to TFNN live on your mobile device 24 hours per day. Go to TFNN.com, then hit Watch Tiger TV. That's TFNN.com, then hit Watch Tiger TV for the latest market information.
Welcome back to the show, folks. Paige is going to be back next week. She's out for the week, and I'm here by myself. So, we've been talking a lot about the vegetables and how dogs and wolves and a lot of animals probably are better off eating their natural diet than maybe forcing them to be vegan. And maybe that applies to us too, although some people seem to do pretty well at it. I know there's a national trend and maybe even a worldwide trend. Veganism and vegetarianism and all these things are becoming more and more popular, and you can see why people want to be healthy, and they're always seeking for ways to do it. But is this the way? I've got an article here, and this is just one of those things that I find, that 9 fruits and vegetables that are actually not that healthy. And in the plant world, everything's not created equal. The nutritional value of a pomegranate, say, is much superior to that of celery. That's just a fact. That doesn't mean celery isn't great. What else will we eat with our hot wings? Ha ha, chuckle, chuckle. It just means that there's better use of your plant-based daily tallies. It says here are 9 fruits and vegetables that are fine and better than nothing, but might not be the healthiest thing. And the first thing here is celery. It's not deep, it's when I look at vegetables, I think the deeper the color, the more nutritious it is, and celery doesn't have that deep color to me. If you've been on a diet for a while, somebody has told you at some point, you burn more calories chewing celery than you do when you eat it. But frankly, unless you have some seriously powerful jaws, it's just not true. A celery stick has about 10 calories and not much else. It has a little bit of vitamin C and a little bit of K and some antioxidants, but on the scale of healthiness, it doesn't rank very high. It says skip it and reach for the carrots. Number 2 is dried fruit. Celery, okay. Dried fruit, there it is right there. No picture, but if you've been on a diet, someone has told you at some point, you burn more calories. No, that's the other one. More dried fruit is not much healthier than candy. These pieces are often dried, coated in sugar, and treated with chemicals to preserve the color and freshness. If you're drying fruit for yourself, you've got a better product. However, this is probably one product category worth skipping. Per ounce, dried fruit packs in more calories and less water content than the fresh variety. However, dried fruit does have a few things going for for it because it's dehydrated. One serving of dry fruit does have a higher concentrating of some vitamin and minerals. Vitamin C, however, is not one of them. Research shows that drying fruit dramatically reduces the amount of this immune-boosting nutrient. To me, the dried fruit really brings the sugar to the top, so you really have to be careful and use it very little. Next one is corn. If you're gleefully scooping up an extra serving of corn at each meal, put the spoon down. Yes, corn is a vegetable. Oh, it is? I thought it was a grain. But it's a better source of sugar than actual vitamins. Corn is high in simple sugar carbohydrates and has virtually no indigestible fiber, that kind that keeps you regular and lowers your blood cholesterol. Instead, the carbs and fiber in corn are the high digestible kind that converts the sugar and spikes your blood sugar very quickly. Plus, corn is quite calorie dense compared to other vegetables. 1 cup has 180 calories compared to the same amount of broccoli, which has 30 calories. Corn is also not a whole grain. Oh, here they mention it's a grain, but not a whole grain. The whole grain, only dried corn kernels like popcorn have the intact elements of the whole grain. So when you're eating popcorn, you're getting the whole grain, but you're getting basically a lot of sugar in that for sure. Radishes. Radishes are a must-have topping for tacos. They're crispy, sharp, slightly astringent, and they're quite beautiful too. But besides a good whack of vitamin C, radishes don't bring much to the table. Well, that's the point. Radishes really are there for the vitamin C, and they're there as an enhancement for the rest of your food. And all root vegetables, I really do believe, enhance the taste of food, and they bring some valuable nutrients, but you don't use a lot of them. You use them kind of on top of it as an accompaniment, not as a main course. All these things are like that. Eggplant. The problem with eggplant isn't the fruit's nutritional content, and it is a fruit. A lot of people don't know that. The deep purple skin are rich in antioxidants, has a decent amount of fiber, about 3 grams per cup. But the health hazard is what's done to eggplant. And eggplant are practically sponges. They soak up fat, they soak up calories, they soak up sodium in the cooking process. So popular methods like eggplant lasagna turn eggplant from a modest, healthy plant into a calorie-dense nutritional bomb. Really, really high in calories and really high in your carbohydrates, of course. Iceberg lettuce is better than no lettuce. If you're getting to eat more plant-rich diets, you can swap out your leaves out. Iceberg lettuce is virtually empty, has no nutritional value, less than 1 gram of fiber per cup, has only 10 calories. Opt for the leafy green, sure. Always get the really nice types of, scroll down here so I can get it. Yeah, you want the dark green things. You don't want things that have little color to them. Next on the list is potatoes. You knew this one was coming, huh? Like eggplant, potatoes themselves aren't terribly nutritious. They're calorie dense, so 1 cup has 115 calories, but they do contain some fiber in the skin. Skin is where most of the poisons and anti-nutrients are. They have some potassium and vitamin C. However, most cooking methods virtually destroy all of these nutrients. Now, if you know anything about potatoes, you can't eat them raw. You'll get violently sick. So you really have to cook them. And I think you have to cook them almost twice. So twice cooked potatoes are much, much better. And I would say use them very sparingly, not that big potato in front of you, but very sparingly. You get the same, let's see here. What's left in the potato is a high-calorie food that spikes your blood sugar. You can get some mashed experience with cauliflower and even butternut squash, but these foods deliver fewer calories even than the potatoes do. Next is fruit juices. Fruit juices, the 100% fruit juice kind may be kind of a healthy alternative to, say, soda or artificial juices, but it's really just a cupful of sugar. Fruit juice is stripped of the fruit's fiber, and many of its healthful vitamins and minerals are in those areas. What's left is a sugary juice, which, while delicious, is just a vehicle for high sugar sip. It's smarter, healthier to fill with the fruit itself. In season, of course, folks, in season. And then they have things like veggie chips, the kind of stuff that they try to fool you here. We know that potatoes not healthy, potato chips, so let's use the veggie chips. Sounds really good. Don't let the photos of the root vegetables in the bag trip you up. Veggie chips are virtually identical to potato chips. 1 ounce of popular vegetable chip has 150 calories. Classic potato chips have 160 calories. Baking and frying the thinly sliced vegetables removes almost all of the nutrients, leave them soaked in oil. And you know what kind of oil you're using, right? Vegetable oil, the grains, the ones we don't like. If you like them for their vegetable flavor, it says here, enjoy them. I say get rid of them. Don't use any of these. This is just going to show you, and the reason I bring this up, of course, we were talking about the dog's digestive system and not to feed dogs this stuff, but most of the vegetables we have these days and the fruits are changed from what we used to do. They're not healthy like they were before. They've changed. They've become sweeter because we like them sweeter. People buy them because they're sweeter. They're not healthy. Restrict them as far as you can. I got one more segment up. I'll be right back.
I'm certain you are or strive to be one of the best at everything you do in life. It's the most common trait that we tigers and tigresses share. If you're looking to become the best of the best when it comes to managing your money, let me teach you to do what most wealth managers tell you can't be done, which is how to time the markets. I'm Steve Rhodes, author of Mastering Probability, and for the last 12 months, Timer Digest has been tracking my newsletter signals, which have earned me the ranking as their #1 market timer in the nation for the S&P 500 for the last 12, 6, and 3 months. Timer Digest also ranks me as the #1 market timer for gold as well. The fact is, markets can be timed, and I'll teach you the exact set of tools that I use that has transformed me into one of the best at what I do. Sign up for Mastering Probability today by clicking on the newsletter tab on the homepage of TFNN.com and get immediate access to workshops where I take you step by step how to use an extraordinary set of tools as well as provide great market calls too. Sign up today.
Hi folks, Tom O'Brien here. If you'd like to get my daily newsletter, Market Insights, then now is a great time to sign up for a 30-day free trial. Every morning by 9:30, I send out my morning letter to subscribers with market commentary on a variety of markets, currencies, and commodities to keep investors up to date on the day's trading action. Included in Market Insights are specific buy and sell recommendations for stocks, ETFs, and even options, with stops and price targets included for every trade in my newsletter. If you'd like to try my newsletter risk-free for 30 days, then head over to the front page of TFNN and you'll find Market Insights under Trading Newsletters. I use my years of trading experience to bisect and dissect the market every morning and give my subscribers the most important information they need to know for the day ahead. I even issue afternoon updates for my subscribers whenever warranted with important market action. I'm always scouring the market for the next great trading opportunity. Sign up for your 30-day free trial to my daily newsletter, Market Insights, today by visiting the front page of TFNN.com. Wow! Go get 'em, folks.
TFNN has put together the best lineup of live content for traders by traders every market day, featuring some of the most knowledgeable and respected minds in the business. TFNN broadcasts 5 days a week, live from 8:30 a.m. till 5 p.m. Eastern Time. Every morning at 8:30 a.m., Jason Paff starts things off with his program, The Morning Market Kickoff. At 9 a.m., Larry Pezzamento breaks down the market for the opening bell with Trade What You See. At 10 a.m., Tom and Tommy O'Brien host the Bull Bear Nadex Options Hour, followed at 11 a.m. by the team at TD Ameritrade and Thinkorswim with Fast Market. Basil Chapman hosts the Tiger Technicians Hour at noon, Steve Rhodes at 1 p.m. with the Trader's Edge, Dave White at 2 p.m. with the Power Trading Hour, and Tom O'Brien anchors the daily lineup from 3 till 5 as host of the Tom O'Brien Show. Tune in to TFNN's Tiger TV on your computer or mobile device, and you can always find us streaming on YouTube. TFNN.com, educating investors.
Welcome back, folks. Let's talk a little bit about the solar minimum. You know, we're entering the grand solar minimum, we think, and the sun is entering one of the deepest solar minimum of the space age. Sunspots have been absent for most of 2018, and the sun's ultraviolet output has been sharply dropped. New research shows that the Earth's upper atmosphere is responding. We see a colding trend. a cooling trend. High above Earth's surface, near the edge of space, our atmosphere is losing heat energy. If the current trends continue, the upper atmosphere could soon set a space-age record for cold. These results come from SABRE instruments aboard NASA's timed satellite. It monitors infrared emissions from carbon dioxide and nitric oxide, two substances that play a key role in the energy balance of the air. 100 to 300 kilometers above the Earth's surface. By measuring the infrared glow of these molecules, SABRE can assess the thermal state of gas at the very top of the atmosphere, a layer researchers call the thermosphere. Thermosphere always cools off during the solar minimum. It's one of the most important ways the 11-year solar cycle affects our planet. When the temperature cools, it shrinks, literally decreasing the radius of the atmosphere. This shrinkage demonstrates the aerodynamic drag on satellites in low Earth orbit, extending their lifetimes. That's the good news. The bad news, it also delays the natural decay of space junk, resulting in more cluttered things going around Earth. Right now, we're very low indeed, they say. SABRE is measuring currently 33 billion watts of infrared power from the NO. That's 10 times smaller than we see during the active phase of the solar cycle. This instrument's been in orbit only 17 years, and recently calculated the TCI going all the way back to the 1940s. This has taught us by revealing the TCI depends on other variables like the geomagnetic activity in the sun's UV output, and they've been measuring these for decades. As 2018 comes to an end, the thermosphere is on the verge of setting a space-age record for cold. We're not there quite yet, but it could happen in a matter of months. And how this affects our climate is, we think it's getting colder. Thanks for sticking around, folks. Hope this has been some help to you. I'll be back next week, and Paige will be with me. So thanks a lot. Take care.
Since 1984, Basil Chapman has been using the Chapman Wave methodology to advise traders of his expert market opinion. While originally hand-drawing charts from the late 1970s into the 1980s, Basil noticed that prices under most circumstances virtually always had a certain number of legs to the upside before declining sharply. Later, Basil found that computer software, which included the standard market technical indicators, enhanced the degree of accuracy in calling price turns, as well as market trend calls. Thus was born the Chapman Wave sequence. Using the Chapman Wave methodology along with other indicators, Basil Chapman advises his subscribers of his expert market opinion each market day with his opening call newsletter. Right now, you can get a 2-week free trial to the opening call, Basil's daily trading newsletter, by visiting the front page of TFNN.com. Cancel at any time during that trial and pay absolutely nothing. Get your 2-week free trial to Basil's newsletter, The Opening Call, today by visiting TFNN.com.
Hi, folks.